Rebecca Morrison stood in bankruptcy court, her husband Tyler and her entire family flanking the opposing counsel's table, unaware she had inherited a $50 billion real estate empire that bore her company's name across every deed and document. The judge's eyes widened as he scanned the bankruptcy petition against her, but his expression shifted to recognition when he read the company name listed among her assets, a name that dominated commercial real estate from Manhattan to Los Angeles. Tyler Morrison had orchestrated this courtroom ambush with surgical precision, convincing Rebecca's parents, her sister Jennifer, and her brother David that their daughter had squandered the family's modest savings on foolish business ventures. But none of them knew about the inheritance letter that had arrived 3 weeks earlier from a grandfather Rebecca had never met. The family forced Rebecca into this legal nightmare, determined to strip her of everything. But they had no idea that the wife they were destroying controlled an empire worth more than the GDP of small nations. What Rebecca did next would shock them into financial oblivion and leave them bankrupt in ways they never imagined possible. How could a woman they dismissed as a failure possess such staggering wealth? What secrets had Rebecca kept hidden from the family that claimed to know her best? Why had the judge's face drained of color the moment he recognized that company name? The fluorescent lights of courtroom 7B hummed with the kind of sterile indifference that made broken families feel even more shattered. But Rebecca Morrison had grown accustomed to cold rooms and colder hearts over the past 3 years of her marriage. She sat alone at the defendant's table, her charcoal blazer showing signs of wear at the elbows, but her posture remained straight despite the weight of betrayal pressing down on her shoulders from every direction. Across the aisle, her husband Tyler adjusted his silk tie, a tie she had bought him for their 2nd anniversary, and whispered something to her mother that made Patricia Morrison nod with grim satisfaction. The irony wasn't lost on Rebecca that she had purchased that tie with money from her first property management job back when she believed hard work and loyalty meant something. But those naive beliefs had died somewhere between discovering Tyler's affair and realizing her own family had helped him build this legal trap. Her father, Richard Morrison, sat rigid in the gallery, his retired military posture somehow making his presence feel like a judgment rendered before the trial even began. Jennifer, Rebecca's younger sister, kept glancing at her phone, probably texting her finance bro about how their crazy sister was finally getting what she deserved. But what none of them deserved was the truth that would detonate in approximately 47 minutes. Judge Harold Chen entered the courtroom with the practiced efficiency of a man who had presided over 3-0 bankruptcy cases. But this would be the first case that would make him question everything he thought he knew about family loyalty and hidden fortunes. He was a stern man in his early 60s, with silver hair and reading glasses that perpetually perched at the end of his nose. But his reputation for fairness had made him one of the most respected bankruptcy judges in the Second Circuit. All rise, the bailiff announced, and the courtroom performed its ritual dance of standing and sitting. Case number 2024, B, case 7819. Judge Chen began reviewing the documents before him. Morrison versus Morrison. Petition for involuntary bankruptcy filed by Tyler Morrison and family members against Rebecca Ann Morrison. He looked up, his gaze sweeping across the courtroom. This is highly unusual. Involuntary bankruptcy petitions require meeting strict legal standards, but I see we have multiple family members as petitioners. Tyler's attorney, a shark in an Armani suit named Gregory Walsh, stood with the confidence of a man who had never lost a case he didn't deserve to lose.